Welcome back to This or That, presented by Verizon. I'm Kobe, that's Dash. It's finals weekend, baby.
Finals weekend! 3 teams left. We got 100 Thieves versus Cloud9. Winner of that moves on to challenge Team Liquid for the title of LCS champions and that #1 spot going to Worlds. So it's a massive doubleheader this weekend in terms of best of 5s. So I think we waste no time. We dive right into the slides. First up, more likely, Team Liquid winning Worlds or Kobe winning the cosplay contest. Well, Kobe, I think you look pretty damn good in that outfit right
honest, there. That's a 0% chance of happening. So by default, like, there's a world where the contest that I'm a part of is just there's other people who look just as bad as me, and I end up on top.
Yeah, I knew as like the resident statistician and like kind of
probabilities
minded person. I'm with you. Non-zero chance versus 0 chance. I do think it is more likely that Kobe would win a cosplay.
That's a negative start to try to hype up NA, huh?
Yeah,
I don't know if I should have done that.
We're ramping up, okay? We gotta start low, give us some room to grow.
Maybe 1% by the time groups start.
Okay, next up. Harder to believe a year ago. Would it be that G2 does not make Worlds, or would it be that SwordArt does not make Worlds? I think it's G2, but that's because it's about the mythology of the team, right? And what G2 has meant for the EU region and the LEC, and how, you know, they're touted as these kings, and there is this expectation that that organization will have tremendous international success. I think it's harder to believe this a year ago than SwordArt, where I could say, well, if you put SwordArt on the worst team in a region, he's not a big enough.
Call TSM the worst team in the region.
yeah, you got me. You found it. So, but you know what I mean? Like, he's just one piece of a puzzle. He's not that kind of a difference maker. I think it's an unfair thing to that's
the problem, James. You and I think too similar. We're gonna agree on everything, because there's a lot of times where players miss Worlds because they change rosters and they end up somewhere worse.
Right.
The G2 situation, even though they lost Perkz, like, you brought in Reckless still. Like, you
still got Caps.
It was a small tweak in theory that your lineup made, and somehow they don't even make it this time. Okay. So I'm with you on this.
All right, 2 for 2. Let's see if we can find a difference with our next slide. It's harder champion to kill. Is it Pyke or Lissandra? I'm gonna let you go first on this.
All right, I'm going Pyke. Easy. I think Lissandra, there's a lot of people who, you know, they have the stopwatch, they have the stasis, but they're not really slippery. You know, like, Lissandra, yeah, if you're trying to just straight up kill her in like a short window, she lives for a long time, but like once those invulnerabilities are out, you can just kill her. Whereas Pyke, he's got the invisibility, he's regenning as you chase him down, he's hopping walls, and when you try and chase through it, you get stunned up. He's sometimes poking you with stuff. Like, I just feel like he's way harder to pin down and actually kill when he doesn't want to die. Whereas Lissandra is like, well, you went in and now you're dead.
Okay, this is a fair point, but I'm gonna make the argument for Lissandra, because I think the big difference here in Pyke's survivability is his escapability. It's how slippery he is. But if you ever get that 1.5 second stun on him, land the Morg binding or the Sedge ult or something, he will explode with Syndra damage coming over. Right, there's a way to kill him, but Lissandra caught out in Sebastian. Like you mentioned, you have the ultimate into a Zhonya's, into a root, claw away, and we've seen some pretty disgusting escapes on that champion. So I'm just gonna say, when it comes to being caught in damage dealing, Lissandra deals with that situation better than Pyke does.
I'm still going with my answer. I still like this.
Whatever.
I mean, you make a good point.
That's fine. I'm still on opposite sides. We found a difference. All right, here. All right, this is our YouTube slide of the day, and it comes from Skeeter Johnson, which is the best name that we've had so far on a YouTube slide.
Cousin Skeeter.
You're already in the lead on that front. Now let's see what question you posed for us. Would you rather, or who would you rather have on your team? Is it an S-tier shot caller or an S-tier mid laner? This is an intriguing question, and I actually don't know where I land.
It's somewhat conditional on how good you are currently, because if I'm a team that's like just getting started out, like if I don't have talent around me, that shot caller, like, you're giving him trash sometimes.
All losing lanes.
Yeah, like
with a good shot caller. You can't shot call your way out of that. Yeah.
Whereas like an S-tier mid laner, like, hey, I got a stable mid lane no matter what. Every matchup I play, like, hell yeah, I want that. If I am like a championship team, maybe what I need is an S-tier shot caller, but I think more situations apply to just, I need the best mid laner in the league, please. Okay. If I get the best mid laner in the league, I'm very happy.
All right, but okay, so is that your choice? Like, hey, I'm GM James saying, Kobe, you're the new coach of my team, you know, Team LCS, whatever. Who's the first kind of player you want to find in your between?
Who's the best mid I can get?
You're going here. Okay, I'm actually gonna go the other way because I'm thinking from a growth-oriented perspective that like, we can invest in young, unproven talent that we believe has the ability to get better, but that needs direction. That needs a veteran shot caller to tell them how to play the game and to take advantages that they might have and snowball them, or to teach younger players how to play out losing situations, which I think can be valuable. And so I'm gonna take the approach that while we might have less immediate success, if we're doing just spring split, I think your team outperforms my team. But by the time summer rolls around, if my players have improved, I think my shot caller is going to be a better investment.
Here's the thing, I flipped the scenario totally in my head. I love playing solo queue. I play solo queue all the time. I play with my friends, as you know, and I definitely want to play with a shot caller, because who would you rather have on your team? And so initially I was thinking like I'm a GM.
Like you're a GM.
But if I'm actually playing, I mean, yeah, you can carry me, that's cool, but like I want to have fun. I want to be directed. I want the smart person to play with.
Okay. Well, so I'm glad that we've recruited you over to
You
this
didn't
side.
recruit me.
No, I'll take the credit for it.
You had no sway. I just thought about it more. I'm like, you know, what I would do.
What's the bigger Perkz buff? Is it down 1-2, or is it now the no hat? This came out of this weekend, right? Not only did he try multiple hats with varying win rates, he then, in the down 1-2 position, decided no hat is the solution.
The funny thing about both these is they have a precondition into them where like you kind of have to.
You were down.
You have to start with a hat and lose.
That's
to
true,
take
actually.
it off,
That's
right?
true.
You have to shed the hat to become.
Because if you were performing well with the hat, you wouldn't have ditched it.
Yeah.
And if you weren't down 1-2, then there was no debuff anyway.
Spike.
You can't have the power spike. So actually, yeah, this is a really interesting quandary.
I feel like down 1-2 historic. There's a lot of history behind the 1-2 power spike with Perkz. The hat thing is new. No cap, no caps, no whatever you want to call it.
No hats, no caps, no whatever, no cap on that. Yeah, I think historically this absolutely is the pick. I think the only thing I could lean into here is that this began in the LCS, so it began in this region. So maybe
so it means something a little more to you?
It does mean a little more to me.
Kobe.
Okay. But I think, no, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I think ultimately you could argue that this is now closer to home and a birth of a new meme, but I think I'm here with you on
All right, we're on this. Double this.
Next up.
What do we got?
Better ball Danny. Oh, God.
Oh,
God, I hate them both. I hate them both.
You hate them both? I love them both. I love One Punch Man and I love Pokemon.
I mean,
this is two great choices in my mind. You hate both of them?
The source material is fantastic.
Okay.
The source material is great. I'm gonna go with One Punch Danny because to me, this is a little bit more aligns with what I think his trajectory as a player has been.
Carry potential.
Exactly, the carry potential that he has, being in the hyperbolic. Remember the beginning of the split, everyone said Danny's in ELO hell, right? Because the team wasn't performing well, and it's kind of that idea of like the training montage he had to play through the hellish weeks. And then he just starts clapping people in team fights left and right and comes up with the biggest play of the year out of the LCS was done by this man right here. And I honestly, I don't really support the growing Doug duo, you know?
You think they already got enough going on?
I think there's enough. There's enough happening between Azale and Phreak already.
The only reason I like this one is because there's actually more to it. Like the One Punch Danny is like, all right, it's just a joke on its own. Here, I'd actually love to see that. I would love to have them get on a TriCast together, all bald, all just talking League of Legends. I actually think that would be good content, whereas like, I don't know what you do with this. Like this would just be fun. Okay. I'd be down for this.
Okay, fair enough.
Doug
that.
Danny.
I'm sold on that. We gotta have another one. Here we go. Most likely finals MVP.
Whoa.
Obviously, we have three choices because we don't know who Team Liquid's opponent is going to be, but it's going to be Closer, Alphari, or Vulcan. So you're already tipping your cap, Kobe, if you pick one of the players not TL, because it states not only probably that they're going to win Saturday's match, but you probably also think they're going to win Sunday.
Using statistics as well, because if you pick Alphari, that means it wasn't Santorin, it wasn't all these other people. So even if you think TL's gonna win, you might say
also
if
then
Closer wins.
Right,
like
true,
for me, like here's what I'd say: Closer is the most impactful. Well, Alphari's close, but on their team, Closer absolutely hulks out all the time. Like the reason that series versus TL was close was because of Closer and the fact that Santorin couldn't shut him down. Whereas like Alphari, he does dominate games sometimes. We also have sometimes the core JJ games, the Santorin games, whereas I'm like ride or die on Closer, being the reason that if they win the title, it'll be off his back.
Fair enough. Okay, but I cannot go with Closer because Kobe, as you'll remember at the beginning of playoffs on an episode of This or That, I said that I believe Cloud9 will lose to Team Liquid in round 1 and then run the entire table.
I remember that. I was there.
Yeah, you were there. So that means that Cloud9 is winning.
So you have to go.
So I have to go with Vulcan because that's got to
be. You picked this 3 weeks ago.
I picked them many weeks ago that they will win. So I'm going to go with Vulcan. He was a really important part of their most recent best of 5 just yesterday as we record these on Mondays. But yeah, so I think, you know what? He's going to show up again and he's going to have to do it against the likes of Core JJ. This is the roaming support meta in North America.
That's a feather in your
now.
Cap to take him down.
Yeah, so I think that there's some arguments there for Vulcan. All right, next up, more tilted. Is it Captain Flowers hearing a Jhin Zhao joke? That's pretty hard to beat. Or is it Phreak when pros autopilot builds?
So, on the one hand,
I think Phreak is more tilted. Because I think Phreak is more legitimately tilted. Now, I'm not saying that Flowers doesn't like this. It clearly agitates him.
Well, did you see his tweet after game 5? Or maybe it was 4, where they had Jhin and Jhin Zhao on the same team?
He said he's like literally rooting against them.
He wanted them to lose game 4 because he's like, I don't even care about Silver Scrapes. I don't want a game 5. This meme's so lame, I just want you to lose.
Yeah.
So it is pretty legit.
It's pretty legit. But this guy openly flames people on broadcast in front of hundreds of thousands of people for their decisions and then follows it up with tweets. Now, I'm not saying he's not justified because I also think players should not autopilot builds. And I know you, Kobe, also are not a fan of players don't make smart decisions and really just, do what what comes easy to them. So, but I think you can feel the anger in Phreak's.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that gets me, is the vocal, disdain that he holds for the autopilot build. So
that's what it is.
I'm with
He's
that
expressive about it. All right, do we have any more? There's gotta be. All right.
Wow, we're still...
Greater bit of Perkz wisdom. This is our last one. This is our last one right here. All right, so gold is an illusion, or better mental always wins.
I feel like one of those is...
One of them is actually wisdom.
And one of them is factually wrong. Gold is absolutely not an illusion. You definitely shouldn't...
It exists.
You shouldn't worry about it too much.
Right.
But if you're down...
But there's a number on your screen.
There's a point where the other guy has 4,000 more gold than you.
Right.
You kind of want to respect that.
Yeah.
So...
I know we had a 12K comeback this week.
That's very impressive. I'm glad you could do that, but I don't think you can just discount.
Can't rely on it.
Yeah, you can't just wave it away.
Yeah.
Whereas there's some truth to it.
Exactly. So I think that this is, in more cases, correct.
Yeah.
Because there is actually just some truth to having a strong mental, and this is in all aspects of life, not just League of Legends.
True.
The only thing I will say about this, and the piece of the gold is an illusion that I like, is that as a competitor, for example, if I was talking to a team of players, competitive players, I would push them to understand gold as a metric, but to not over-index into the pattern. No, this is correct.
No, I'm saying, but is that not just a...
It's a better mental...
It's like a derivative of this.
Sort of, yeah.
By having a good mentality, to not, you have to...
Yeah, you're right. Don't over-index into it. Don't be defeatist just because they have a gold lead. Try and find your ways to win. Okay, yeah, so it's all encompassing.
Boom! Yeah, it's this.
All right, Perkz, you're a very wise man. For one thing that you said, but not for the other thing that you said. Okay, well, there you have it. 3 teams going into this weekend. It's 100 Thieves versus Cloud9 on Saturday. We followed that up on Sunday with the winner taking on Team Liquid to challenge for the LCS title. It's going to be a sick weekend. I hope we get 5s across the board.
I'm hoping, 10 games this weekend, please.
10 games, please. We'll see you there. Don't miss out.
This was fun as always.
This was a great time, Kobe.
Yeah.
I liked your energy today.
Yeah, I was feeling different.